Hey guys, introspection here, and I'm back again with another video. So today I want to discuss a topic or a point of argument that often bothers me when discussing media, and that is the rose-covered or nostalgia glasses. Now, before we get into that, let me just say a couple things. First of all, we are talking about media, and it shouldn't really be treated as anything more than that. It is just entertainment. It doesn't protect you, it doesn't give you clothing, it doesn't give you food, it doesn't give you medical attention. Ultimately, it is just media, and you shouldn't let it have any more bearing on your life than that. Unless, of course, you're actually in the business of producing this entertainment, in which case, obviously, it's your livelihood. But with that exception, you really shouldn't let it have any more bearing on your life. Now, with that said, we are still investing time and money into entertainment. That, along with another reason, which I'll get to in a second, makes it so that I think it's very important that we give and discuss constructive criticism. The other reason is that somebody invested a lot of time, energy, and money into making whatever TV show, video, music, or movie we're talking about. Now, granted, by no means are my videos to any degree the same scale as that, but as somebody who does make some sort of creative content, then yeah, I want to make sure my content's the best it can be, and I can't do that without any actual constructive criticism. Now, the reason I'm so meticulous about the criticism we have in discussing what's good or bad about the video or movie or whatever is because as somebody, again, not to the same degree, but as somebody who does make videos, there's not a lot more frustrating than somebody giving you advice, which by no means has any malintent, but they'll give you advice that just doesn't really help. Like, for instance, I've been told things like, you need to make your videos better, which might be true, but I have no idea what to do with that if you're not more specific. Do you want the audio to be better? Do you want the scripts to be written out differently? Do you want the video quality to be higher? That's why I like being more meticulous, because if you're going to give somebody criticism, it doesn't help a ton unless you're specific about what exactly it is that needs to be improved, and if you can, how you might want it to be improved. Obviously, this doesn't mean that the people making it are obligated to follow everybody's criticism, because A, not everybody's right, and B, that would be humanly impossible, which is why I don't do it. But that doesn't mean I still don't listen to the criticism and do what I can do to try to make my videos better. And that's why I like to be really meticulous when discussing videos, movies, whatever. Furthermore, that's also why there's a big distinction between what I like and what I think is good. So, for instance, there's a video I made a little back reviewing the movie Whiplash. Now, personally, I think objectively it's a good movie. I still hate it quite greatly. I really, really don't like that movie. But that doesn't affect the fact that I can tell you whether I think from an objective standpoint it's good or bad. I don't let my own enjoyment of the movie dictate whether I think something is a good or bad product, because ultimately, whether or not I like it doesn't necessarily dictate whether it's good or bad. It's very possible for me not to enjoy well-made things, like this movie. Reversely, I also know that things I like aren't inherently good. So, for instance, the third Ghostbusters movie, not the new third Ghostbusters movie, the old this Ghostbusters movie. I know, it gets confusing. Personally, I like it. Don't ask me why. I really, really don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I know from an objective standpoint, it's not a great movie. It really isn't. I wish it was, but it isn't. I still like it, don't know why, but I'm not going to not like something just because everybody else doesn't like it, or because I think it's objectively not good. I just enjoyed it, which is fine. And of course, that doesn't mean that I simply pick the opposite of the popular either. I love the Avengers movies, and I think they're, at least the first set of Avengers movies, were made very, very well. It's gotten a little hit or miss after they took out Thanos, let's be honest, but for simplicity's sake, that first set of movies, I think, were objectively good. I really enjoyed them, and that's popular opinion. So, I rate the objective product separate from popularity or my own enjoyment. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that my word is end all be all. I can and have been wrong about a lot of these things, and that's why I think discussions are so important. Now that I've said all that, how does this relate? Hold on. How does this relate to the nostalgia or rose-colored glasses? Well, here's the thing. I find a lot of times when I'm talking about older content or newer content, I'm often accused of not being able to see whether it's good or bad on account of nostalgia. And fair enough, it's very, very possible that I look at something better or worse on account of nostalgia. That's very possible. I am human. What bothers me is when I make a cohesive, well-made argument or description of why I think something's good or not good, and the only rebuttal to it is that I have nostalgia or the rose-colored glasses on. Again, I'm human, and it's very possible for me to be influenced that way. But as you can see, I put a lot of thought into minimizing that as much as feasibly possible. But on top of that, if you're going to make that argument, you need to fundamentally break down my own argument. You can't just assume that it's wrong because I have nostalgia. You have to point out what specifically about my own argument is fundamentally wrong. And I think this is important because obviously new TV shows, new movies are being created. And I'm obviously going to reference older movies and TV shows that have good points, that did certain things better than what the current TV show is trying to accomplish. But you can't just accuse me of having nostalgia glasses because something old did something good. It's very possible for that to happen. If it relates to the argument that I'm making, I'm going to make the correlation. If you're going to dispute my argument, you need to fundamentally say why it's wrong rather than assuming it's wrong simply because I experienced something from before. And that's kind of where it does bother me a little bit, but it by no means is it a moment of rage or sheer upsetness, because again, we are just discussing entertainment. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but I'm making this video because I want to encourage you to do the same, basically. If you're going to point out the whole nostalgia thing, you have to fundamentally dispute the thing that the original person's making. Which, to be clear, I don't think anything is bad simply because it's new. There are plenty of TV shows, movies, whatever, that I think were made spectacularly and that are also new. But if we're going to continue to encourage the creators to put thought and actual value into the product for us to invest our time and money into, we do need to have these discussions so that proper criticism can be made, and again, more direction can be given to the creators. Same thing with my own videos. If you're going to give me, don't get me wrong, all criticism is appreciated, for sure. But if you're going to give me criticism, what's drastically more appreciated if you could be a little bit more specific about the thing you're criticizing. Like, for instance, is it that you want more or less humor frequently throughout my videos? Is it, again, the resolution, the audio quality, whatever the case may be? If you could be more specific about that, that helps me immensely in improving the quality of my videos. A lot of people have given me a lot of criticism, and I've done my best to try to improve around it, but it's very difficult when it's super generic or broad. So that's why. And yes, I'm well aware that unlike me, who gets one comment every 20 videos if I'm lucky, the majority of the people making this kind of content probably won't hear us individually. Yeah, for sure. But they do seem to somewhat respond to the overall consensus. And for that overall consensus to be positively influential, we do need to have discussions like this. And again, it is just media. Keep that in mind. Please don't lose it over somebody who disagrees with you. We're never going to get there anywhere with that easier. But I do encourage everybody to be a little bit more specific and integral in trying to discuss what's good and bad about these individual pieces of artwork. But overall, it just comes down to us enjoying them, of course. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it didn't sound too ranty. Sorry about not posting a couple weeks ago. It got super nuts. But it looks like I'm back now. Assuming everything stays stable. If you guys want to make a comment about video ideas that I should make in the future, or if you just want to tell me how great I am, again, I certainly never mind that either. Otherwise, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell button. I post every other week, assuming all goes well. So until next time, hear nothing and listen to all. Bye, guys.